The session. Today I am going to deal about the first PUC syllabus, that too with the continuation of biological classification. In the previous classes you have been studied the first two kingdom system of classification, that was the Monera and then the Protista. But the kingdom Protista classification was incomplete in the last class. Today now I am continuing that one, and then I will pass on to the next kingdom, that is Mycota. In the previous class you have studied the three classes under the kingdom Protista. One was the Chrysophyta. The example is diatoms, which are commonly called golden brown algae, or even pearls of ocean, or jewels of the plant kingdom. The second class was the Dinoflagellata, which are well known for forming red tides and even for bioluminescence. The example is Noctiluca. The another one what you have studied in the last class was the Euglenoida. So the example is Euglena, which is a freshwater param. With the continuation of the classification of kingdom Protista, so the next, the fourth one is the slime molds. The slime molds are either saprophytes, and these saprophytes are even they occur as parasites. Saprophytes, in the sense, as you are aware, those which grow on dead and decaying organic matter can be called as saprophytes. These saprophytes occur either on the land, that is terrestrial, or in aquatic media. See, during the favorable conditions or suitable conditions, that means whenever the environmental conditions are optimum for its the establishment, then they form some of the bodies called plasmodium. Plasmodium, in the sense, they are the multinucleate wall-less protoplasm mass. And these are formed during what? Favorable conditions. These are plasmodium. Don't confuse it for the plasmodium of the malarial parasite. As the appearance of these structures, they resemble the plasmodium, probably the term has been given. Now this wall-less, multinucleated mass of protoplasm, which is called plasmodium, is formed during what? Favorable conditions. This is helpful in overcoming what? The unfavorable conditions. And this is helpful in the continuation of the generation. Remember, if at all they do not form this plasmodium during the suitable conditions or favorable conditions, then they cannot survive or continue their generations. Then, during unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium what formed during the favorable the conditions, now they are get differentiated and form what? The fruiting bodies. These fruiting bodies bear at their tips what? The spores. Now the spores are being carried by air current, and by air current these spores are carried away from the parental body and somewhere it settles and continue its growth. This is about the slime mouse. The example is Stemonitis and Fusarium. These are the two typical examples for slime mouse. That marks the end of what? The class. The slime mouse under Protista, remember. Still Protista class, the kingdom is not completed. Now the fifth one is protozoans. Protozoans are unicellular and then the eukaryotic forms. And of course that is the characteristic feature of the kingdom Protista. The next, they may be either freshwater forms or marine forms, are found in the moist soil, or lead life as what? Parasites. The typical example for parasites is what? Plasmodium, which causes malaria, and even that of pentamoeba, which causes amoebic dysentery, and then trypanosoma, which causes the sleeping sickness, like that. So the freshwater, the typical example is amoeba, remember. For marine, you can take the example of what are known as the radiolarians. And the parasites, as I said earlier, and even the radiolarians are also found in the moist places. And remember, all these are the microscopic forms. Then, the body is covered by the plasma membrane or cell membrane. The cell membrane is made of mainly what? The lipid and protein with small amount of the carbohydrate. That is as per fluid mosaic model, or even said to be the pellicle. Of course, pellicle slightly differ from that of the plasma membrane and is very rich in protein and is highly flexible. So either plasma membrane or the pellicle. Sometimes the pellicle and the plasma membrane are used as the synonymous terms, but some authors differentiate them. The plasma membrane is composed of mainly lipid, protein and lesser amount of what? Carbohydrate. Whereas the pellicle contains large amount of what? The protein rich layer. Then the cytoplasm. What is cytoplasm? It is nothing but matrix of the cell. The cytoplasm is differentiated into outer ectoplasm and inner endoplasm. So here cytoplasm is differentiated into outer ecto and inner endoplasm, and it is the endoplasm which contains all cytoplasmic contents. Then regarding locomotion, remember locomotion is brought about by either hair-like structures, minute hair-like structures called cilia as in paramecium, or pseudopodia as you find in amoeba and entamoeba, like that, or whip-like structure called the flagella as you find in trypanosoma, or totally absent as you find in the plasmodium, a malarial parasite. So that is the regarding locomotion. Regarding the nutrition, that is the feeding habit. Based upon the feeding habit, they may be what? Holophytic, plant-like feeding, holozoic, animal-like feeding, then mixotrophic, combination of these two. And regarding digestion, what do you mean by a digestion? Digestion is nothing but the process by which the complex food molecules are get broken down into simpler molecules by enzymes. Or simply we can define it is the simplification of the food. The digestion here is intracellular type. There are only two types of the digestion. One is intracellular digestion and other is extracellular digestion. Intracellular digestion in the sense it is the digestion of food within the cell by forming food vacuoles. Whereas extracellular digestion in the sense it is the one which occurs outside the cell, that is in the lumen of alimentary canal. For example, in man, the food is partially digested in the mouth and in the stomach and ultimately completely digested in small intestine. Intestine, stomach and mouth are all the parts of the digestive system. In each part there is a lumen or a cavity in which food is digested. If at all food is digested outside the cell, in the lumen of alimentary canal, then it is extracellular, remember. It is found in the higher parts. Particularly only in protozoans you come across the intracellular digestion, and next to it is the poriferans, that is in the sponges. From the coelenterate onwards, in coelenterata it is partly intracellular and partly extracellular. But from platyhelminths onwards, the digestion is entirely or exclusively what? Extracellular digestion. Here the digestion is intracellular because food is digested within the cell by forming food vacuoles. Then regarding reproduction, reproduction occurs both asexually and sexually. Asexual reproduction occurs by fission. Fission, as you are aware, nothing but division of the body into two or more parts, and each part develop into a new individual. That is the fission. And the sexual reproduction occurs by the formation of the gametes. For example, in case of the plasmodium, there are said to be the formation of the gametes. But in case of the paramecium or ciliates, there is conjugation. In conjugation, the individuals come together and join with each other or attach with each other, and at the point of the attachment or contact, the membrane dissolves and the genetic material is exchanged. The conjugation is nothing but a primitive type of sexual reproduction where there is exchange of what? The nuclear content. So that is the sexual reproduction. So right from 1 to 8, all these are key features or salient features or unique features of what? Protozoans. Now protozoans include how many groups? 4 groups. So they are 1. Amoeboid protozoans. The term itself indicates that it includes mainly the amoeba. Amoeba, as I said earlier, is a freshwater param. And many radiolarians which come under this amoeboid protozoans is marine param or found in seawater. Ant amoeba is an intestinal parasite of man. So that means they may be either aquatic params or parasitic params. Then, how they move? They move by forming what? The pseudopodia. The pseudopodia is not a permanent structure to the animal. It is formed only whenever it is required, only whenever it wants to move and capture the food. So thereby, as there is said to be the formation of what and what? The pseudopodia, as and when required, the amoeba cannot maintain what? A constant shape. That The marine forms, particularly the foraminiferans, they have the external wall, shells. Shell is nothing but the hard covering of the body, providing greater protection. The typical example is amoeba, which is a free-living form, and antamoeba is a parasitic form found in the small intestine of man, causing amoebic dysentery, or simply called amoebiasis. The next group is flagellated protozoans. Here the term itself indicates that they have the locomotory organelle. Remember, it is not an organ. Organ is the group of tissues. But organelle is the unit of a cell. The protozoans are what? Unicellular. Can you expect more than one cell there? No. Hence, there is no question of what? Organ. It is an organelle. The locomotory organelle is a very long, whip-like structure called flagellum. They may be either the free-living form or parasite. The typical example for the parasite is the Trypanosoma gambiense. Trypanosoma. This is the genus name, Trypanosoma gambiense, which is the parasite causing what is known as the disease by name, the sleeping sickness. It is very common, particularly in African countries, and then sometimes it is even called as African disease. And it is carried from person to person through a vector or a mediator by name Tsetse fly. Tsetse fly is what? A vector which transmits the disease from one to another. Next comes what? Ciliated protozoans. The term indicates that they have what? Cilia. What are cilia? Cilia are the minute hair-like structures which are helpful in what? Feeding, and even helpful in the locomotion. Remember, cilia are the chief locomotory organelles, and they are also helpful in the feeding. That means to say here the cilia are the locomotory organelles. They may be either free-living, for example, paramecium, or parasite, as like that of the Balantidium. Balantidium is a parasite found in the rectum of what? Frog. Balantidium is a parasite of the frog. That is ciliated protozoans. Now coming to the last group under protozoan is sporozoans. Sporozoans in the sense, observe the term. Sporo means spore-like. Zoan means animals. That means these animals appear like that of the spores. The typical example for the sporozoans is what? Plasmodium. Plasmodium is an endoparasite and is an intracellular parasite. So remember, the Ascaris or the entamoeba are all what? Extracellular parasite. But Plasmodium is what? Intracellular parasite, because it lives within the RBCs of the man. RBC is what? A red blood corpuscular cell. As RBC is a cell, in that cell it lives. It is called as intracellular parasite. Parasite lives within a cell. The Plasmodium causes what? As you are aware, it causes malaria. Which is a vector for malaria? I hope you know that. The female Anopheles mosquito is a transmitter or an intermediate host or a vector which transmit the disease or spread the disease from one to the another individual. As it is a parasite and as it gets its food wherever it is, there is no need of what? Locomotion. Hence, the locomotory organelles are totally absent in them. So that is sporozoans. Now with this, it is the completion of what? The kingdom Protista. Protista is the second kingdom. First kingdom was Monera, what I dealt in one of my previous classes. So now I completed the second kingdom, that is Protista, which are unicellular and eukaryotes. Now let us pass on to the next kingdom, third kingdom, that is called Mycota or fungi. See, study of the fungi is called mycology. Mycos means fungus. Fungus means achlorophyllous plant. Achlorophyllous param is supposed to be the fungus. The typical example is bread mold. And then even the mushroom, these are said to be the fungus. And even the yeast, which is extensively used in the baking industries for fermentation purposes. Now, let us know the key features of the kingdom fungi or Mycota. Remember, up to Protista they were unicellular, but from here afterwards they are what? Multicellular. Eukaryotes. Of course, Protista were also eukaryotes. And the fungi found everywhere, right from the air and even in the land or even in water like that. They found everywhere. And many of the fungus are harmful to the plant and even the animal kingdom, causing many sort of the diseases. Then, regarding the nutrition, they are heterotrophs, depending upon other for their food. Under heterotrophs, they may be what? Saprophyte. What do you mean by saprophyte? Saprophyte is the one which lives on dead and decaying matter. The typical example is the mushroom. Nowadays the mushroom has what? Commercial value and food value. It is very rich in protein. That mushroom is a saprophyte. And some are parasites. For example, Puccinia gramineaceae is a fungus which causes what? Wheat rust disease. It causes a disease in the wheat plant by name wheat rust disease. So hence, they may be either saprophyte or parasite. Next one is, they are symbionts. In one of my previous classes, I told you about the symbiosis. Symbiosis is nothing but an association where the two individuals are mutually benefited. But in other words, it is even defined as symbiosis means living together. Here, in this symbiosis, those which involved in symbiosis can be referred as what? Symbionts. For example, lichens. Lichen is an association between what and what? Fungus and the algae. So remember here, the fungus cannot synthesize food, but can obtain what? Raw materials necessary for the synthesis of the food. Whereas alga cannot get the raw material, but has the ability to synthesize the food. Here there is an understanding between these two symbionts. The fungus provides the raw materials to the alga. The alga synthesizes the food. Later on the food is shared by both of them. If at all you separate the fungus from the alga, definitely both of them will die. Hence, the association is obligatory, and the association is called obligatory mutualism. Then, another is said to be the cell wall. The cell wall of the fungus is made of chitin and polysaccharide. Chitin is nothing but a complex sugar. So, as like in the plants, the cell wall is made of cellulose, which is a polysaccharide. Here also it is made of the chitin, which is a polysaccharide or complex sugar. And then the fungus, with the help of the filamentous body or filamentous structures, it is get fixed to the substratum. For example, in the mushroom. And such filamentous structures by which it is get fixed to the substratum is called what? Hyphae. Hyphae is not found in yeast, which is unicellular. Remember, yeast is exceptional under fungi because yeast is what? Unicellular with no hyphae. What are hyphae? Hyphae are nothing but long filamentous structures which help in anchorage or which help in fixation. The network of hyphae is called what? Mycelium. So the mycelium may be either what? Septate or aseptate. What do you mean by this septate and aseptate? The septate in the sense, suppose this is the hyphal body, if at all it contains the cross walls between the two nuclei, then it is called the septate hyphae. This is supposed to be the septum. Now you can easily count how many cells are there. And suppose the structure is like this, without cross walls. Here there are no cross walls. Only you can see what? The nuclei. The hyphae with no cross wall can be called as what? Aseptate, or even called cenocytic hyphae. That is the one. So mycelium is nothing but the network of hyphae. If at all there are the cross walls in the hyphae or in mycelium, then it is septate. If no cross walls, then it is aseptate or even called cenocytic. Then some of the fungus are the source of antibiotics. The first antibiotic known is penicillium. Was the father of the antibiotics, Alexander Fleming. So remember, this penicillium is obtained for the first time from a fungus by name Penicillium notatum. It was the first antibiotic. But majority of the antibiotics, remember, are extracted from the bacteria. But this is the one which is extracted from the fungus. So then the reproduction. The reproduction occurs both by asexual methods and sexual methods. Asexually it occurs by spores and vegetative method. The spores include Conidia spores, sporangiospores and zoospores. These are all the types of the spores which are produced asexually and become the part of asexual phase of the life cycle. Vegetative method occur by what? Fragmentation. Fragmentation in the sense what? So the body of the individual is cut into number of fragments or segments, then each segment develop into new individual. That is nothing but what? Fragmentation or segmentation, like that. Then the fission. Fission, as you are aware, the body is cut into two or more parts and each part develop into new individual. That is the fission. And then budding. Here the bud is formed, grows and ultimately separated from the parental body and become an independent one. That is budding. This vegetative method and by the production of the spores come under what type of reproduction? Asexual reproduction. It involves even the sexual reproduction, which is little bit complex. So that the sexual reproduction I will explain in the next class. So thank you, one and all.